What is the best reason to own a Wrangler? And it's not what you expect. It is starting to look a lot like Christmas. Duracell sent me this jump pack to test out for you guys. We don't have a dead car, so I don't want to unbox this yet and do a review until I have something for you guys to actually test this out on. Not only that, but you can see here, I got a surprise package in the mail from Randy and Braden over at Coglin Cars. This is a touch-up paint pen for PGE, that's Mojito. So this is the official Mojito touch-up paint pen from Mopar. It also came with this microfiber cloth and then 2 coupons for service there. So thank you Braden and Randy for sending that over. I'll be using that very soon here. Not only does it feel like Christmas because of that stuff, but today we got our first snow here in Columbus. So I'm excited to test the Jeep out in the snow coming up. This is the first snow. It doesn't mean much. It pretty much melted all the way through today. We are going to be doing something that I have been meaning to do since I've installed this. And that is to wire in this rear hatch LED from Done Right LEDs. So we're gonna spend some time, clean up this wiring, run it down and hardwire it to this outlet here. That way we don't need this anymore. Alright, so actually that worked out really well. And then you just pop this plastic piece out as well as this plastic piece out with your hands and just shove the wire down and it comes out the other end. You can see right here. So there's no need for these wire ties anymore, and you can see obviously looks factory because there's no wires just hanging out. Okay, and here are the final results. So we have the wire running up through the plastic, down out of this plastic, and then I had to cut this wire here. Once I got this inner fender plastic removed, I removed the plug here that was for the outlet back here, and then I just tapped into the power and ground here. Soldered it, have it all wired back up, and we are just gonna zip tie this all nice and neat back here. We still have the controller in here. For now, I do want to run this to like a switch that's right here next to the outlet, but for right now, we're leaving this wire in here, which is in fact for the remote. And now you can see that it works just fine. So we were just gonna clean this all up, tuck it all away, and yeah, that's that. Because I'm still using the remote instead of a button, what I'm gonna do is take Graystorm's idea, who was the guy I talked to on Instagram, and I'm just gonna put some Velcro on the back of here, and I'm actually gonna mount it right above where all the wiring is for the hardtop. That way I could just, you know, tap it on and tap it off from there. And the fact that it's higher up out of the way in the corner, I don't wanna mount it down here because I feel like if I have any kind of cargo in here, if it slides and hits it, it might turn it off and turn it on. I know he said he mounted his somewhere on this back tailgate somewhere. Again, if there's cargo sliding back and forth or your trunk is packed, I think that might cause an issue. So if it's like up here and out of the way, I think that's probably the best spot for me to put it. All right, and I think this will do it. I like that. Now that I cleared my head with all that messy wiring that was back there and cleaned it up, have a second to talk to you guys. What is the best reason to own a Wrangler? And it's not what you expect. I mean, sure, the Wrangler is like the king of off-road. You can throw mud trains on this thing and you could be crawling like mere minutes after you buy this and take it off the lot. Not because you can take the doors and the top off and it's great for the outdoors. It gives you that open air freedom. It feels wrong to drive with no doors, but that's what makes it kind of exciting, is because there's no other vehicle that you've ever driven in your life where you can have the doors and the top off and you just have this totally open experience, and it's just like unlike any other car that you've ever driven. It's not because they're so customizable that there are thousands of parts floating around in the aftermarket to get the Jeep exactly the way you want it. I mean, hey, that's what SEMA was all about. The amount of product that was shown for this body style Wrangler specifically was absolutely insane. And it's not because it's one of the easier vehicles to work on when it comes to installing aftermarket parts, or trying to get better performance out of your engine, or putting that lift kit on with the big wheels and tires. Generally, they are pretty easy to work on. And all those are reasons enough to buy a Wrangler. The customability, having the doors and the top off, having something that can just dominate anything off-road, those are all short-term gratifications. The best reason to own a Wrangler is for the long term. And what do I mean by long term? Well, I came across this article the other day, and this is something I've been telling people for a long time with Wranglers. You can't buy used ones for a reasonable price, or at least what you think is a reasonable price. You can have used JKs that are still in the mid to upper $20,000. I've even seen a couple TJs, which is the body style before that, still above $15,000, and that's because of its depreciation. Its depreciation value is so little compared to anything else on the market that these will hold their value more than any other car. So actually, straight off of JL Wrangler forums, IC Cars is an automotive research firm, and it says the Jeep Wrangler depreciation is still the lowest of all vehicles at just 27% after 5 years. So after 5 years of ownership of this vehicle, the depreciation of the vehicle only goes down 27%. Other cars, by comparison, at 5 years lose over 50%. So the Wrangler's depreciation is just about in half. Why is their depreciation so low? The availability of parts, the mass availability of aftermarket parts, the ease of which it is to work on this vehicle. Again, coming back to it's easy to maintain and there's a lot of products. Super high demand for these vehicles, new or used, and its reliability. Even here in Ohio, when people think they need a 4x4 to get through winter, even though you don't, because I did it for 4 years in a front wheel drive Jetta, they think they need a 4x4 and the first thing that they think of is a Jeep. So if there's anything that you take away from this video, it is that the best reason to own a Wrangler is for the long term in the future because of its low depreciation value. This is one of the very few vehicles that you could drive off the lot, drive for 4 or 5 years, and when you're ready to sell it, you're going to make a good return on this vehicle. It's not like most vehicles where after you purchase the vehicle and you drive it off that lot, it loses thousands of dollars of value in just those moments. Alright guys, so I know that's a long explanation for what the best reason to own a Wrangler is, besides all the awesome aftermarket parts you can add to these things. I hope you guys all enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave me a big thumbs up. If you have not been here before, get down there, hit subscribe. There's a lot more content coming in the future, big upgrades in the near future, and not to mention at 5,000 subscribers, I'm giving away a JK Blackout Grill. So thank you guys again so much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.